Alright, we're here. This is my league start. It took me a while, maybe about a full week of play before I got to a point where I'm comfortable enough with this build that I can kind of like say it's a pretty okay league starter. You can kind of run it on a budget and you don't really need a lot of, you know, mechanics in order to play this build for like T16 maps, T14, T16 maps. You can do, yeah, Scourge mechanic all the way to maybe 150 plus, and it's really tanky for the investment put into it. So right now the only downsides are it doesn't really have good single target damage. Its bossing damage is quite lackluster. What I mean by lackluster is mad bosses take like 10 to 15 seconds, which I'm not happy with by any means. But at the same time, I also understand that like a good portion of damage is gimped because I'm not using any specters whatsoever right now. Um, I know I can go to like some of the Discord channels and get a Stone Flayers and Little Mancers, but I'm too lazy, so I haven't actually done that, and that actually cost me a bit of single target DPS. But at the same time, I might eventually just do it one of these days. But I'm actually quite keen on probably playing another build entirely and not playing this build anymore. So right now I'm just gonna run through a couple of maps and then I'm gonna show you how it plays. So alright, let's see, do I have any maps available? Uh, alright, I got a maze, enfeeble, power charge, elemental, reduce blast charges. Alright, let's see, this is Haywork. Oops. Okay. So this build sitting at around 6.8k life. I'm using Petrified, so this will drop to about 3.4. Uh, reason why it's really tanky is I'm using a lot of mechanics that rely on low life. Only jogging. As you know, I'm not good at this, so I'm not going to optimize my board. Oops, ouch. Oh, block layer was down. Really? That's it. I'll just summon the metamorph and then finishes off like Forge. That hurts. Something slowing me. Oh. Oh. Okay, that was slightly painful, but that's fine. I'll collect these later. Okay. Actually, I'm gonna sell my stuff off, and then I will go pick up the rest and then talk about the build. Oops. Okay, time to talk about the build. Run through how it works, how it clears so fast, how you play around it, and generally how much it would cost in terms of budget. So, as you can see, I have a lot of life. I have about 6.8k, most of it due to the fact that I'm actually running Countard. So Countard gives me 500 flat life. I have a lot of passive points for life over the 3. That gives me a crap ton of percentage life, and then gives me 6.8k life. So why is 6.8k life important? Well, one, because it makes you tanky. The second reason is that I'm using Petrified to give me low life. So what does low life give this build? So I'm gonna do this right now to show you. So right now I'm at low life. If you were to look at defenses, okay, so with Bone offering up, I am at a 51% chance to block attack damage and 68% chance to block spell damage. This is without dancing blows, right? So that's a flat amount to actually remove, like to block or cancel out damage, incoming damage. So that's one layer. When I have the Restless Courage. The reason why it gives that it gives me 30% spell block at low life, so I'm getting 30% spell block from this. I'm also getting a 20% chance to block attack damage and spell damage, which gives me cap attack and spell block whenever I proc. So that happens when I blocked spell damage recently and block attack damage recently. So that's how the shield works with low life. What else I have is a low life defensive layer. I have Lori's Lantern, which gives me damage of enemies hitting me is unlucky while I'm on low life, which basically means that incoming damage is rolled twice, and I take the lower roll, or rather the hits against me are the lower roll. That helps me to deal with the fact that, let's say a mob hits me for a pretty high amount. There's a wide range of damage. I just happen to be able to dodge the higher roll and get the lower roll instead. That's really good because it's petrified blood, right? It's low life. You want to reduce damage through that, especially when it comes from crits and it comes from monsters just being lucky or lightning damage, right? Because lightning damage usually has a huge range. Um, so that is the two defensive low life mechanics. The third is actually life leech. So when you have low life, this basically gives you what do you call it? Permanent leech? Not permanent leech. So it's like the leech doesn't get capped off. Uh, you never lose all sources of your leech when you hit full, which is what happens when you have like normal amount of life full. So this means that stuff like so I'm actually getting leech from my Watcher's Eye, but beforehand I was using a Doryani spell to get leech. This basically gives me incoming life that will fill me to full as long as I don't get one shot by anything, any boss or any mob. I won't die. The other source of recovery is actually this is okay. So my divine life loss, that's just in case I take a huge incoming hit and I'm a little worried and I want to make sure that this goes to full so I can like tank. Like something hits you really hard and you like go to like zero and you're like, oh shit, I need to like reposition. I need to figure out how much damage I can actually take. What are the things I really need to dodge. This is a oh shit kind of button flask that I use to solve that problem. Okay, and then the third recovery is actually coming from life recuperation. So I have about 50% life recoup on the tree from these 3 points and these 3 points. What this means is that 50% of all the damage that's incoming gets converted into uh, a source of healing, right? Which also helps with the, it's another layer of healing. So even if I'm not dealing damage and not leeching life, I still like recover, recuperate, and that's really good to help keep me alive. So how do I then scale damage? So as you can tell, I'm not really relying on Spellslinger mechanics. Spellslinger usually relies on a one that has good damage range, which gets added to flat to your spells. I don't have a good one because Poet's Pen is I think quite cheap, and also because the reservation cost, if I were to run a second Spellslinger setup, would just be too much for the build. And I'm also kind of socket stuff because I'm using comms, so therefore I'm using a Poet's Pen. So with the Poet's Pen, I actually get 3 levels on Designated and Desecrate, and my Val Designated is here, so it gets another 3 levels as well, which gives it more damage. And then I have Volatile Dead on a 4 link. This helm is actually pretty expensive, but I sniped it off the market cheap. I think the guy didn't really know how much it cost, so I bought it for about 20 chaos. I plan to maybe reforge key suffixes to get concentrated effect, yeah, gem as a prefix, and then this helm will pretty much be perfect. I'll probably get the either craft for life or the craft for +2 gems. Yeah. What else is there? Yeah, you want the temple mod, the 50 to 75 added fire damage against burning enemies because it's really good for this build. For the rest of your slots, it's mainly resistances and life. And also because you're using calms, you need strength, so you need about 191. I have about 210, and because you're using a volatile dead and desecrate dead, desecrate and definitely dead, you need like yeah, 100, 98, 98 dexterity. So and you don't want to get it on the 3. And that's pretty much it for gear. When it comes to flask, getting a Cinder Swallow is really nice. Because it gives you onslaught, it gives you mine has chance to avoid being stunned and recover 2% life when I kill an enemy during class effect. It also means that enemies in line by me during class effect take 10% increased damage, which is really good for in a sense boosting my damage. The Enduring Eternal Mana Flask is actually to help me cast or sustain cast. I mean, I don't usually have problems, but on maps where there is no mana regeneration, you kind of need this, so I leave it there. If I want to drop, let's say, Inspiration Support, I can, because I can use this to help deal with the mana cost. My Quicksilver Flask, I probably need to upgrade this. This is pretty bad, but that's fine. I might go for a Rock Guard, but we'll see. The Wiseau Flask is just for more pen, because my fire and cold are the highest, so I get a fire pen from this. So let's see, how much fire pen do I get? Let's say Volta did. So currently it's at 24% resist penetration. If I hit this, it's at 35. So I have a 35 pen with this, and then yeah, that's pretty much it. To boost my damage further, I'll be trying to get specters, but I think I'm pretty much done with this build. I'm gonna use this to map, to clear maps, but I really want to get a bosser or something that can do like Maven invitations, uh, just to make things more interesting. I might come up with a completely new build. I'm really keen on trying Occultist, but at the same time, you know, I'm looking at Recoup. I really like how Recoup works. I might want to do some form of self-damage build. Either Storm Secrets and Herald of Lightning? Herald of Thunder, sorry. And, or Forbidden Rite, right? So, it really depends. I might, you know, I'll try to figure it out in the next week and then come up with a new build. But for now, this is my league starter. This is generally how it works. And we have the passive tree. What am I doing? Okay, so for passive tree, you want to path here. You want to grab the life nodes here. You grab the life nodes here. You want the jewel socket. In the jewel socket, you get Grand Spectrum jewels. You have 15% elemental damage per Grand Spectrum. You get 3 of them, which gives you about 45% times 3 is what is it? 135? 135% elemental damage, which is really good because it boosts the damage of your volatile undead and definitely dead. Not just the spell damage, but also the corpse explosions. You path here, you grab the minion tree, the minion mastery here, and the minion what's it called again? Minion passives here, because it's mostly corpse consumption. You get 20% increase of offerings. Uh, Yeah, light recoup is nice, but you can get this like last. That's not really that it's not really that crucial. Um, Path here you get the elemental fire, fire and cold passive 3. You get the mastery for increased effect on non-damaging elements. Why is this good? Because you actually proc. What was it? Yeah, so Corpse Pack gives enemies near corpses you spawned recently are chilled and shocked. And then I think this does affect that, so that's pretty nice. Then you get the life nodes here. You path here, and then you get the fire nodes here, and then you power up here, you get life nodes, and then the fire nodes here. The fire nodes here are great because you get fire pen from this, and then you can get fire exposure inflicts an extra -5% of fire resistance, which is really nice as well. The recoup tree here is great. The socket here, and then you path here, you have another socket, and then the life nodes here. You want elemental overload because it's really good. It boosts all damage from your skills because it's more elemental. It affects the explosions of the corpses. It affects the spell damage. So yeah, you path here, you get the fire damage, and then you get the block nodes here. So with the block nodes, you get life and mana gain on block, right? And then you go here, get the life nodes, get the reservation nodes, which help you a lot because you're running Spellslinger as well as Auras. I'm running Anger and Petrified. Path down here, get the extra socket, get the life nodes, elemental damage, life nodes. This is just nice to have. And then you get the life nodes here with the reduced cost. So you can tell that the reduced cost is being mitigated mostly by Elrion's craft on the ring and amulet, as well as some reduced reduction here. But when you first start out, you're going to have a lot of difficulty getting reduced cost because you might not have Elrion's available. If that's the case, this is the passives you do need to take. You need to take these ones. I mean, these ones you're going to get anyway later, so might as well get them, right? But you can also path here, which is about 5 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry, 6 points. And then you allocate a reduced mana cost of skill. What this does is this gives you 10%, this gives you 10%, and it gives you 5%. So that's 25% total mana cost reduction here, which is really, really easy to get. Helps you deal with the mana cost of Spellslinger early. Other than that, that's pretty much it. Oh yes, and you pain attunement because small spell damage while low life. This does not affect the explosions of your corpses, unfortunately, but it does affect the flat damage component of your Detonate Dead and your Vault Undead. And that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed the guide. Hope you find a way to play VD and DD in a cheaper way. This seems pretty cheap to me. And peace.